The darkest of blacks would get called out for cultural appropriation if they wore this Youthforia foundation shade.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Jordan, and this is Shane Dawson's best friend. I'm kidding, this is just someone who didn't learn from Shane Dawson's cancellation. But before we get into that, let's break down the makeup scandal that Kevin Leonardo used to justify doing blackface. Youthforia is a makeup brand known for its sleep-in products. They have faced criticism for mishandling foundation shades for darker skin tones. In October 2023, they launched their date night foundation with 15 shades. However, beauty influencers, particularly black creators, pointed out the lack of inclusivity. The darker shades lack variety and didn't blend well with darker skin tones, a clear oversight that we should all be empathetic towards. Since I don't wear makeup, this creator Gloria highlights this point perfectly.
I bought 2 new bottles of the Youthforia foundation to see if this was just a production issue or if this is just the shade. 1 pump of my original bottle. This is the darkest shade. 1 pump of the new bottle. This is the darkest shade. 1 pump of the third final bottle. This is the darkest shade. The theory of it being a production issue just doesn't even make any sense, because regardless of what issue it may have, could have, would have been, all 3 of these shades look the exact same on the bottle. All 3 of the shade swatches on my face currently are way lighter than they are online. All 3 of the shades on the boxes look completely off from what they look like online, in person, and in the bottle. If we want to talk about integrity, let's talk about integrity. To release a complexion launch, right? And advertise this as your darkest shade online, this as your darkest shade on the box, this as your darkest shade in the bottle, but this is how your actual shade looks like on skin, goes far beyond integrity, you guys.
One thing I want to highlight is that this creator did her due diligence and bought 3 of the same foundations just to make sure this wasn't a production issue. Clearly, it wasn't, and it was just the color of the foundation. The fact that the color on the bottom of the box and the pictures online didn't match the color in the bottle is highly unethical, and you're 100% misleading your customer. When the founder of Youthforia, Ko Chan, initially responded to the backlash, she explained the launch as a proof of concept, or a limited test to see if the product could be successful, which many creators saw this as an excuse for their lack of inclusivity rather than them taking accountability. So Youthforia tried to make amends for this with their latest foundation drop. Let's just say they completely missed the mark because creators are describing this as tar in a bottle.
Which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation? You can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. This is jet black face paint, and this is the darkest shade of the Youthforia Date Night foundation. This is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is what it looked like on me. I'm gonna apply some of the foundation on this side of my face so you guys can see. Let's just go ahead and try to blend this out, you guys. Enough. Who is that color? I'm gonna wipe this off and let me put the paint all over my face. I'm literally just going in with the face paint. We're gonna do some painting, and let me just go ahead and blend it out with a brush. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe my brand is not made for complexion. I'm gonna squeeze a pump of this on my forehead just right out the bottle so you guys can see that I'm literally not joking. We're gonna do a big blend of this, you guys. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown. This is the darkest shade 600, and as you guys can see in the bottle, literally jet black. The shade right next to it, shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these 2 shades. In addition to that, when we go to the actual website and we look at the swatch, not only is the swatch online literally jet black, there's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexions. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this needs to be pulled off the shelves.
She makes an excellent point. There could be 10 shades in between the darkest and second darkest foundations. There are only 4 or 5 shades for people with darker complexions compared to all the shades for individuals of lighter complexion. It's pretty disrespectful. They definitely should have put more work into their product before releasing this to the public. Maybe take a look at what the competition is offering. Oh wait, Fenty definitely doesn't see this brand as competition. Let me know what you guys think about this backlash Youthforia is facing. Now let's transition into this rage baiter Kevin Leonardo. I was in the barbershop getting this fresh cut, not knowing who this person was until my barber said, "Oh, that's the Nair butthole guy." It instantly clicked in my head. I know who this person is. If you can honestly say you've never seen that video, leave a thumbs up emoji. If you've been traumatized by that video, go ahead and leave a crying face emoji. I know you're not alone. It's hard for me to even start this part of the video, but it's easy because Kevin already snitched on himself.
Because I'm dedicated to this review, I literally feel like James Charles or like Jeffree Star. And I like low-key have always wanted to do this, but like I don't wear makeup, so like there was no reason for me to like wear makeup for a video. But today I was like, yes, a new scandal. I can hop on that.
Of course, he compares himself to the two mainstream guys who wear makeup, Jeffree Star and James Charles, who are both infamous for their scandals, which is no different from Kevin. He loves scandals. He's a walking scandal. That's why I'm choosing to highlight this specific clip. He said he low-key always wanted to do this, but he doesn't wear makeup. So he had no reason to, except, of course, this new scandal that he can hop on. He clearly knew that painting his whole face with this foundation would be a scandal. He used the Youthforia backlash as a way to go viral and excuse the fact that he is in blackface. He's not dumb. He clearly knew that posting his face in that foundation as the thumbnail on TikTok would get him a lot more engagement than his other videos. Everyone knows TikTok is used for cancellations. Those people on that app are ruthless. Before this controversy, his videos consistently got between 100 to 200k views, which is pretty good honestly. Let's just not mention the views to like ratio because it's clearly terrible, but that's to be expected from someone who makes this type of content. I'm sure if there was a dislike button, it would be higher than the like count, even though he has a million followers.
Youthforia actually tried to like one-up Fenty by saying like, oh, our darkest shade is actually darker than Fenty's darkest shade, because they know that like Fenty is known for being inclusive, and so they thought that like if they released a shade darker than Fenty's darkest shade, they could be considered like inclusive as well, and they could like be free of like the cancellation that they received like months ago when their darkest shade was like super light. But I got Fenty's darkest shade, and look at how nice this shade actually is. One sec. Removing half my face. I'm dedicated to this video. I literally went to Ulta and bought like wipes, Mother's Day stuff, and these dark foundation shades for videos. Just wiped Youthforia off my face. This is dark gray. It literally looks like I just wiped off like eyeliner or something.
This guy then tries to explain the Youthforia scandal that I laid out earlier in this video, but who's going to listen to you when your face is painted like that? If you wanted to review the foundation, why didn't you just do an arm swab like a normal person? Then he has the nerve to compare the Fenty foundation next to the Youthforia on his face? This man did double blackface. He had the nerve to point out how Youthforia talked about their darkest shade being even darker than Fenty as a way to show that they're more inclusive. Does he not realize that he's giving the same energy as Youthforia? They both cancel themselves more. This video is next level stupidity, but here's the worst part.
And so there you have it. This is real black people skin. This is minstrel show blackface, which is not good. Don't do it. This video is just for demonstration. I don't think Lupita from Us could even like match this shade, to be honest. This was literally so fun, and I completely understand why black people are like upset at Youthforia.
This guy really said that this is real black people's skin? Maybe you should think about how problematic that sounds, being that you're not black. That is a foundation color, not skin. Then you call the darker shade of foundation minstrel blackface. You describe it as not good and encourage your followers not to do it, but it's okay for you to do it because it was a demonstration? Make it make sense. You knew what you were doing was wrong, and you can make this conclusion based on your own word. Then you have the nerve to say even Lupita from Us wouldn't match this shade? Bro, what the fuck? It should be self-explanatory why this statement is foul. He ended the video by saying that this was fun and I couldn't understand why black people are mad at Youthforia. Bro, you're on the same boat. Do you really think that people are gonna let this slide? Like I said earlier, the only engagement this guy has seen is negative. Honestly, I'm way too exhausted to discuss these comments, so here's a screenshot of some of them and pause the video if you really want to read them. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure to leave a skull emoji because that's exactly how I'm feeling after this one. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If I'm not your favorite YouTuber yet, it's only a matter of time. Hopefully your algorithm will bless you again if you don't subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.